Who makes an attempt on Ulfrica's life? How delightful. Eat vermin to your heart's content, sweet pollywog. I must find you some bedding and toys. Welcome back to a Compendium of Monsters. It's Gazer Week. Before we continue, zap that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Gazers are challenge level 1/2, and they don't do things in half measures. These tiny aberrations have an armor class of 13, average hit points of 13, a speed of 0 feet, a flying hovering speed of 30 feet, and dark vision out to 60 feet. Despite being literal dream creations, gazers speak no languages. They can, however, receive telepathic communications. Gazers have no resistances or damage immunities, but are immune to the prone condition. I suppose the fact that their little blobby body can hover is the reasoning behind this. Gazers are aggressive. You know, for being very small and fairly weak, I'm not sure aggression is the best personality trait for them to have. Come here, you bastard! The aggressive trait allows gazers to use a bonus action to move up to their full movement speed at a hostile creature the gazer can see. In my not-so-humble opinion, gazers need the opposite of this ability. What's the hostile inverse of aggression? Aggressive passive aggression? Immediately contrasting their aggressive ability, gazers have mimicry. With this ability, gazers can mimic the sounds of any speech they have heard. Luckily, a modest insight check can tell a player character if the disembodied voice is true or wicked, tricksy, false. They stole it from us! Perhaps obviously, mimicry will not work on a player character or an NPC that can see the gazer making the sound, though this does open the door for a gazer to mimic a dead relative or friend in an attempt to trick the party. It might require a lot of setup, so your mileage may vary. For their first action, gazers have a single unimpressive bite attack. This attack deals exactly 1 piercing damage, making it incredibly apparent how useless it is. By comparison, a challenge level 0 creature called Felis Catus deals a single point of slashing damage. Not a great look for a creature 3 levels up on the food chain. However, a gazer's second action is significantly more impressive. With it, a gazer shoots 2 of 4 random eye rays at 2 visible creatures of its choice within 60 feet. A gazer can't fire the same eye ray twice in the same turn, and the 4 possibilities are Dazing Ray, Fear Ray, Frost Ray, and Telekinetic Ray! Starting with Dazing Ray, a creature hit by this ray is forced to make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed until the start of the gazer's next turn. While the target creature is charmed, its movement speed is halved, and it has disadvantage on its attack rolls. This is balanced in a way to help prevent parties from killing each other, though it does not take spells or actions that force saving throws into account. Hopefully no one took Acid Splash. Fear Ray forces another wisdom saving throw, and a failed save causes the target creature to be frightened of the gazer until the start of the gazer's next turn. Oh no, it's scary! Oh, just kidding, it's not. Oh, scary again! Frost Ray forces a target creature to make a dexterity saving throw or take an average of 10 frost damage. This is a gazer's main source of damage. Who wants to rely on biting for a single point of piercing damage? No one! Last, and probably best, Telekinetic Ray! Telekinetic Ray forces the target creature to make a strength saving throw or be moved up to 30 feet directly away from the gazer. If we use the rules as written time for a round of combat, it is 6 seconds from the top of the initiative order all the way down to the bottom. 6 seconds, regardless of how many combatants are on the field of battle. Telekinetic Ray moves a creature 30 feet in the gazer's small portion of 6 seconds, which implies a creature pushed into a wall or other obstacle should take damage that scales with how far it travels because of the distance it travels over such a short time. And just for a little math, because why not? If a creature is moved 30 feet in 1 second, it travels at approximately 20.5 miles per hour towards its destination. A creature takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage for every 10 feet it is thrown or dropped, so this eye ray could feasibly deal up to 3d6 bludgeoning damage. Or, if you're a DM and feeling rude, you could position the gazer to push one creature into a second one, causing the first creature to deal the same amount of bludgeoning damage it would take to the stationary creature. Misery loves company! I would know. To best determine which random eye rays to use, just have 2 of your players roll a d4 and re-roll any duplicates. Wait, why wouldn't you roll it yourself? Because it's more fun to have your players inadvertently choose their own demise. A gazer is created similarly to how all beholderkin are. A true beholder dreams it into existence. Gazers are unique among beholders in that true beholders treat gazers like spoiled pets. Gazers resemble the beholder that dreamed them into existence and follow their creator like a devoted yet aggressive 8-inch diameter guard dog. Gazers typically patrol a beholder's lair and spend their time either killing and eating vermin or harassing lone creatures. Similarly to spectators, gazers only have 4 eye stalks and hence only have a choice of 4 eye rays. A gazer can't speak any languages, but can approximate mimicking words and sentences in a high-pitched, mocking manner. So then,
What's the point? If I heard something in a high-pitched, mocking manner, I'd assume it was a hag. Why is mimicry always like this? It's like if a mimic were to do something like become a half-dresser, half-bed. There's something clearly wrong with this picture, but I can't for the life of me figure out what it is.
A wild gazer, one living separately from a beholder, is territorial, eats bugs and small animals, and is known for playing with its food. A lone gazer avoids picking fights with creatures that are medium or larger, but a pack of them might take on larger prey. A gazer might follow humanoids in its territory, noisily mimicking their speech and generally being a nuisance until they leave the area. But it flees if confronted by something it can't kill.
I think the only time a gazer would be separate from a beholder is if the beholder was killed or magically imprisoned. With an intelligence score of 3, I find it unlikely that gazers would gather in packs to hunt down creatures larger than those sized small or tiny. Though a free gazer's possible behavior of following and harassing humanoids in its territory is a great segue into my next talking point. If you're a f***ing asshole head, you might be interested in a gazer as a familiar. Seriously, gazers typically only serve somewhat powerful spellcasters who enjoy bullying or harassing others. It's in their nature. If it's a match made in Hades, a gazer forms a telepathic bond with its willing master, and the master can sense whatever the gazer senses so long as the two are within 1 mile of each other. Like most familiars, causing a gazer physical harm will most likely make it end its services as a familiar, break the telepathic bond, and, if you're unlucky, cause it to attack. Ordinarily, this wouldn't be an issue, except a gazer without careful training and disciplinary measures will attack household pets, farm animals, and even children. How would you like to get run out of town in record time? Well, bring a gazer on your next visit, and I guarantee you'll have a ball! Or 2 if you get decapitated for causing the death of a child. Gazers are great creatures for almost any campaign setting, and especially at a table where veteran players are familiar with beholderkin. If a party is not powerful enough to fight a true beholder, the presence of a gazer should invoke some paranoia. It's clearly some kind of small beholder, and its aggression signals its comfort in its territory. Is it part of a larger group of beholderkin? Is there some master beholder watching our every move? Well, that's up for you to decide. Or maybe you make the gazer beholder situation into a red herring and instead pit your players' characters against a Balhanoth! Begone, Satan! Anyways, what do you think of gazers? Let me know in the comments below. A special thank you to my incredible patrons. And thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, share my video on your Twitter, Facebook, or other social media, and make the leap to become one of my patrons on Patreon. I'll see you next time.